And we are back. I would like to extend a formal apology to getting the name of this fine film, Netflix film series,
TV show,
13-hour movie. The Daredevil trailer came out this last week. Daredevil.
Matt Murdock.
Matt Murdock.
Yes.
Nothing to do with Deadpool. My inner Chad came out for a second.
Yeah. We need
all
to
right,
stop
so
that.
Daredevil trailer came out this last week, and here's all that enthusiasm. Woo! Yeah. All right, Daredevil trailer came out, and we're very excited to talk about it. Now, what did you... Okay, we're going to, of course, link to this. If you haven't seen it yet, there's going to be a link in our Facebook post, as
Just
always.
like always.
At the very, very bottom. Go check that out. Now, what, Mark, did you think of the Daredevil trailer?
I found it very interesting. It looks nothing like a superhero movie or a TV show. It looks like a crime drama.
Like Law and Order, Hell's Kitchen?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, CSI Hell's Kitchen.
CSI Hell's Kitchen. Yeah! That's a drop I need.
But yeah, that's totally what it looked like. It did not feel like I'm going to go watch the Avengers or anything. It looks like I'm going to go watch a gritty, Frank Miller-esque Daredevil.
Okay, I can see that. Now, my first impression, and you're going to have to live with it. I'm going to re-quote some of my tweets that we put out whenever the trailer first came out. And if you don't follow us on Twitter, that's your own damn fault.
Yeah, you should be doing that.
My first thing, when I saw this trailer and it wrapped, I go, thank God they were able to get by without showing any Avengers footage for a Marvel spinoff of the MCU.
Hey, you know Marvel that did the Avengers? Well, watch this.
In the city that was ravaged by the events of the Avengers. You know, that wasn't there at all.
You know, that kind of brings up an interesting point. Is there, like, do we know where in the
timeline?
Yeah, that
No.
all this is happening?
No.
We have no
Not yet.
idea.
We'll have to try and figure that out.
No, and that's
Whether
probably
that-
going to be maybe that'll be like the end of, maybe at the end of all of the Defenders. Now, of course, if you're not paying attention, there's the Daredevil movie, or I'm sorry, series. There is the Luke Cage series, the Alias, aka Justice Jones. And there will be an Iron Fist, and maybe at the end of that, when the Defenders comes out, then New York will get attacked, and they'll have to fight off the Chitauri.
And maybe we'll just...
From Avengers.
Oh, that would be cool.
Oh, actually... that would be cool.
Calling it now. You heard it first on Trade Paper Hacks.
Oh, that'd be very
Well
cool.
played.
Yeah.
However, don't believe it.
Yeah.
No.
You don't think that's going to happen?
No, I think more likely what would happen is instead of... Hold on.
Are you okay?
I was
you all
a
right?
little verklempt, but I promised myself a
You
one try.
stooked? Okay.
What I imagine is going to happen is that they're going to start building the universe of Hell's Kitchen, unveiling these characters to us as they go along, and then in a future event, maybe a Civil War, their positions and opinions will become important to us, and we'll get to see two halves of one cinematic coin. I don't think it'll be the events of New York from Avengers 1, but I think it will be something else like Civil War. Because the big thing about Civil War from the perspective of a comic book going into and becoming a movie is that in the books, it mattered. A-list to Z-list, it mattered to you what was happening with the Superhuman Registration Act and all that. Which I don't even know if that's going to be the topic.
It's
or
not.
the point.
I
Okay.
don't think it's going to be in
So-
Civil War. I don't think they're going to have enough time between now and Civil
Yeah,
War
how do you build that world?
to build that world. There's just going to be... Okay, we're getting off track, actually.
Sure.
We got to come
Yeah.
back. We got to actually just talk about the trailer.
All right, trailer.
Talking more about the trailer, man, it's Frank Miller gritty. This
It
thing
is-
stinks of Frank Miller.
It-
Off somewhere in the background, and somewhere in the world, somebody has pulled Frank Miller aside, shown him the Daredevil trailer, and he goes, "Oh, what the is a Netflix?" And he probably is sitting there as an old cranky man watching this.
And what's a Netflix?
Yeah,
Hey,
I wrote Daredevil.
I flick things.
Oh, there's our new voice. There's our Frank Miller voice. Yeah, I write comic books. They're so good.
Do you guys have any blue erasers?
What?
Yeah, you know, he's drawing comic books.
Oh, okay. For his blue pencils and blue.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm pretty sure he just puts ink to paper and lets crap come out. It's awful.
I got
hate his art.
this. Wow.
Okay, it stinks of Frank Miller. There's all sorts of Frank Miller all over this thing.
Well, is that a good stench?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I don't think,
like,
but be honest, that music that plays, because you have the Daredevil logo, which is the classic Daredevil logo, am I
I
mistaken?
like it.
Very, very much. But the music that's playing over it and how they slow fade from black into it is very Sin City. Like, that's damn near the
Yes,
end of every
yes.
Sin City trailer ever, which makes you feel Frank Miller. I don't know if they did it on purpose.
Well, obviously, I think they chose to go with that color scheme. All right, had it not had a green wash to most of what we saw in the trailer, and had it been mostly black and whites, or had they gone to a fade that drained color out of it, then I would say they're definitely trying to pay homage to Sin City.
Man, I feel bad for our listeners because I'm doing a bad job of explaining this. Frank Miller was a prolific comic book writer. If you're not familiar, shame on you. But two, he's responsible for the Sin City series. He wrote Daredevil for a really long time. The series in which they're kind of basing his costume off in the trailer was the Frank Miller series. I don't remember the name of that series. Man Without Fear?
Yes.
It's Man Without Fear, so if you want to go pick that up for reference, that's definitely something you should go check out. Frank Miller also writes tons of pulpy things. Dark Knight Returns. He wrote
Batman Year One.
Batman Year One. Just very your pulpy superhero stories. So I think Daredevil was the only Marvel title he ever did. Am I forgetting something? You're giving me some shame. Look.
I'm thinking. I'm recalling. And
I tell you what, if you're screaming at your podcast radio right now, jump on to our comment section and let us know.
Did he hit some Wolverine back then?
I don't know.
Does John Carter count?
John Carter of Mars?
Now, that's
Yep.
not typical
Not
Marvel,
really.
but they own it.
Right.
So,
Well, they did anyway.
anyway, so
Anyway.
I think this is one of the best Daredevil stories of all time, and it's really what helped define that kind of grittier feeling for him. That you get a lot of that in the Kevin Smith stuff.
He wrote Electro too.
He did write Elektra, which is kind of a spinoff.
Yeah.
Actually, didn't he introduce Elektra?
Yeah, his Daredevil run brought in Electra and then killed Electra.
Yep. So there you go. That brings you up to speed now. That's what we're talking about. Frank Miller and all those Sin City movies he was an executive producer on. I don't think he's even tied to these, but they may have just done the homage in how dark it was and how gritty it was, and basing off that story. And
Yeah, if you want to make a good TV series, take the best story that was done for this character
and
and
replicate
use
it.
that. Yeah.
Now let's talk about that costume. This is the first time we've actually seen the costume in motion. We've seen some stills.
It looks good.
Looks cool. I mean, they said they played around with a lot of different mask ideas. Now he kind of has the bandana over his eyes, and you can't see it. And that's cool, man. It's not the red horned suit that we're so used to.
Which I think towards the end of it, I think they're going to introduce that in some way.
That's what I was about to bring up. They're going to bring up ways to introduce multiple iterations of the suit. It says it's going to be an organic thing. Now, I can only imagine. He is still blind. If you don't know this about Matt Murdock, he is a blind lawyer. I can laugh. He's like the lady at the Joanne Fabric sells him fabric. Yeah, this is all red. This is all red.
That's
and he ends
fine.
up putting up the yellow and red suit.
That would be awesome.
Like, oh, that how dare she? Somebody tells him, like, what?
So, did you guys see
Why you got the yellow on?
niche characters or characters that if you don't read the book you wouldn't recognize, but they popped out to you?
Yes, and you made a list.
Yeah,
So,
I've got a list of who's in. Daredevil's in it, played by Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox was in some famous TV show recently.
I actually have it here in front of me. And in 2 seconds, I will tell you what he was in. He was in Boardwalk Empire.
Boardwalk Empire. We got to it eventually.
It takes a minute. He was in Downton Abbey as well, apparently.
Okay, so we got that. You got Karen Page is played by Deborah Ann Wall.
Who you just kind of drool over. a
My
little bit.
God, this woman is. I swear I get a hernia every time I look at her. Like,
It's painful to look at.
we looked at.
Painful in the
We
good
had
way.
to switch tables because we were looking at Netflix, or I'm sorry, IMDb photos of the cast. Came across her, and I snapped the table in half from underneath. Like,
Yeah, he kicked it real good.
Yeah,
that's
kicked
exactly
it really hard.
what happened.
But no, and she's playing Karen Page.
So gorgeous. Now, don't spoil that for people that don't know the show. Or don't know the series.
No spoilers.
No spoilers for Karen Page. She's very important to the Daredevil universe.
She's actually extremely important to the Daredevil universe. You're correct.
All right, so next person was Foggy Nelson.
Yeah.
I forget his name. I was Foggy.
Nelson. Yeah, Foggy Nelson, his partner.
Now, they hired Eldon Henson.
Eldon Henson.
Now, he's from other things. Who knows?
He was in Castaway, Butterfly Effect.
He was actually Wilson in Castaway.
He was not Wilson in Castaway. Who
True
was he
story.
in Castaway? He's probably a bit actor in Castaway.
He was Pollux in Hunger Games.
Okay, there you go. There's
There
some
you
more
go.
reason.
Yeah.
But this kid, and I said kid, this young man,
Born in 77, older than you.
this gentleman, what the you want me to go with?
This groovy cat. This cool customer.
Oh man, you can't stop. Anyways, he looks just like Foggy from the books.
He really does.
He really looks a
yeah.
spitting image for it. You got a couple other people who are going to...
Who is Foggy? What type of character is Foggy?
Best friend
There we go.
stereotype. He's also in the same lawyer office. He's
Okay.
He's his partner. He takes care of more of the stuff.
He's
that-
the Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But he's kind of not the sharpest tack out there.
He isn't.
Foggy.
He isn't, but man, he's all heart, man.
Oh yeah, he's
all heart. Okay, and the other one, the major one, is you got Wilson Fisk, and we, not on this version of the show,
we've talked
in
about
past shows, when they cast Vincent
D'Onofrio.
He's playing Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin.
You never actually see him from the front in this,
Right.
But
you get a nice him with his back to you, and then you get him like walking towards Daredevil in the shadows.
Yeah, he's bald, and he's a big, intimidating guy. He's sitting in an art gallery.
I can't wait.
Man, it's
I think
high-class hood rat, man.
I think D'Onofrio is going to make an awesome Kingpin.
He's fantastic. Okay, so let's...
There's Ben Urich, who they have...
Vincent Curtis Hall? Or I can't read your handwriting.
Vondi
Vondi
Curtis Hall.
Bondi, that's an N. Jesus, man.
Yeah. What? I wrote it in a hurry. Shut up.
Okay.
Let's see. He was... he's been on quite a few things. He was in Broken Arrow, in Romeo and Juliet, Chicago Hope.
Broken Arrow, famous for that. You the man.
You the man.
You the man.
So, I mean, he's a veteran actor playing
Ben Urich.
Ben Urich, which is an important character also.
Have you guys noticed the way that these episodes are actually being listed on IMDb?
No, I've been avoiding it, genuinely.
Well, I'm not talking about the titles. I can't help but see this as I'm checking booths. But it's listing, like, it credits the actor with episode number 1.1 through 13.
Okay, and there's a reason behind that. And they don't tell you this in the trailer, but we talked about it a little bit before. What's happening is they're treating the entire first season like a 13-hour-long movie. They're not breaking it up into cliffhanger, a storyline cliffhanger for every episode. What they're doing is they go, this is made to be binged. You're on Netflix, you're going to binge watch it, so there's no point in me giving you a cliffhanger between every episode. The director said this. So maybe that's why they're like, this is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 of the one story that they're telling.
So the storylines and the story arcs go through the whole thing the entire time.
Yep.
Instead of getting, this episode is about why Wilson Fisk is the bad guy. This episode is why Daredevil is blind, and things like that.
Yeah, they might do a little bit of that, but like anticipate it being a dedicated 13-hour experience.
Do you think that with the next of the 4 series that they're going to bring out, it will be like episode 2.1?
Yeah, I hope.
Okay.
I kind of hope they do that and like make all of these things coming together one giant thing that you watch at one time, or a couple of sections, but you're watching this one big arc sweeping through all these characters in Hell's Kitchen.
Mm-hmm. There's another important one, and I think this is more the actress.
Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson is playing Claire Temple, and
I don't remember Claire Temple.
Well, no. This is why I brought it up. It's more important that Rosario Dawson's playing the character,
right?
Because she's also very attractive.
Yes, she is.
Add
more eye candy that Matt Murdock will never see.
Oh. Stick is in the trailer. Stick is Daredevil's master, blind master as well.
Yep. Trained him to fight.
You get like a half a second image of him getting into an elevator.
But he just clearly got the gray covered eyes.
Yeah.
Blind. I can't see.
What button do I push? This is the weirdest elevator ever. And it's just a porta potty. A well-lit porta potty. Okay, so, I mean, the trailer's... another thing I want to point out, the trailer's dark.
Yeah.
It is dark. And that's nice, because it's a very noir, gritty. I hope we just don't lose any... what's the word we've been throwing around tonight? Pee-wee's Playhouse's word? Fidelity.
Lose any of the sight. See,
I
that happened in the shadows. I'm not sure what that was, but that
Matt's
happened.
blind. I'm not blind.
Yeah.
I would like to see the action. So I'm hoping that comes through. And the other little aspect is that it is bloody. There is not arterial blood. Actually, there's a lot of blood in that one scene. You see somebody get stabbed.
And somebody's holding a knife over a bloody body.
And it looks bad.
Yeah.
Like, it looks really graphic because it's Netflix. It's not rated.
Yeah.
They don't have... I mean, it's a... Granted, now they've told us that they are going to try to keep to a PG-13. They're not going to show nudity, which Deborah Ann Woll being on the show, that makes me sad. So sad.
So sad.
But they're not going to have any nudity, so it's going to be very... still going to be dark and graphic and appropriate.
Right.
They're going to take those liberties. I mean, you see Matt Murdock get up off the ground with his blood in his mouth. And it's wet and gross, and you're just like, man, this is going to be no punches pulled. It's not ABC. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I also like the fact that he's actually talking to a priest.
Through the whole
Yeah, that's what the narration is, him basically confessing to this priest about what's going to happen.
And if you know anything about Matt Murdock, if you don't, Matt is a very devout Catholic.
Yes.
And that's very, very important to the Daredevil mythos. So...
It really defines his character and why he drives forward to be the good guy, but having to go through the bad means to do it. So he has to go repent for all.
Yeah, and it
all
really
of the bad.
and it affects him. The bad really affects him. Like when characters die and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you have a lot of internal praying monologues that are just very him. It makes you feel the character.
Yeah.
Is that way. You don't get a lot of that in series, whether it be one way or the other on religion. So.
Right, and they tried to do it in the Daredevil movie, and that just didn't really pan out that way.
You know what movie religion just did not help? Man of Steel. Superman is Jesus. Or is it this way? It's this way.
It's that way, yeah.
Oh.
Ugh.
But
Well, this is going to be better than Man of Steel.
I guarantee you this is going to be better than Man of Steel. I feel that overall it's going a visual way that I'm happy with. And here's the problem. Since they filmed it all at one time, like in a couple months, like they would do a movie or something, like a season of shows, you're not going to see budget increases. So if you watch the first episode and you're disappointed with either the special effects or the fight choreography, it's going to be consistent throughout the entire show because it's an entire, they filmed it all together. Now, the one thing that kind of bugged me is you kind of get a perception of Daredevil's kind of omnipresent senses because he can't see anything, but he hears everything, and he can make that into physical shapes and stuff like that using some sort of sonar. They use like this high-pitched frequency that sounds real distorted, like he could hear things, but everything sounded like had a distortion or a high gain level on it. And I wasn't real thrilled with that. I hope they don't stick to that too much.
I'm thinking that maybe that's like an early, like he's trying to tune into it and trying to figure it out. And as he develops his ability to focus, that will concise down into a more tolerable.
I want to know if we're going to get the most recent things that they've been doing in the Daredevil series for like the last 10 years. I say recent. Last 10 years, where you actually see the sonar and it's like moving red lines. Like red shapes, man, that would be so cool in CGI.
Get some Batman Detective Vision going on.
Kind of like that, but like more fluid and sonar looking or something like that. Something really cool like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm excited. That trailer looks solid.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it now.
Let's be honest, there's not a lot in that trailer. It's a teaser. When does that come out, Tech Booth?
April 11th.
So April 11th that comes out. What day is that?
Oh, that's a good question.
What day is in April 11th?
I have no idea.
April 11th is a Saturday. Second Saturday of April.
You know what we're going to have to do, right?
Yeah, we're going to have to watch that.
We're going to have to get together and watch that. Maybe we'll Twitch stream it.
Maybe we'll let you guys in on what we think about it.
Maybe we can all watch it. That'd be cool.
We shall watch it together as a cohesive group.
Get a chat room going.
Chatting up some Daredevil.
I don't know. Talk about some, or maybe just all come over to my house.
Everybody's invited to Alex's house.
I thought we agreed that we were not going to bring Chad to the house anymore.
Okay,
He's just going to be thinking it's Deadpool the whole entire time because of
Right.
you. So,
Screw you, buddy. Screw you royally. Yeah, okay, maybe not Chad. All right, so we'll get together and we'll definitely talk about this more closer it comes up to the show debut. All right, so we're gonna let that go. Go watch the trailer. You'll enjoy it thoroughly, I promise. And then you'll be like, okay, well now I understand what they were talking about. Any of the other series we want to talk about real quick that are coming out now? I know that they have cast. They started filming, AKA Jessica Jones.
yes.
And we have two really boring pictures of a very attractive Kristen Ritter.
Yep.
But I think it's in that series, David Tennant has been cast as the Purple Man.
Now,
Yep.
Purple Man has the ability to make people do whatever they say, whatever he says.
Yes, it's sometimes limited format, sometimes not.
It just depends on how powerful they want to make him that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool. Now, the question is, will they make Doctor Who freaking purple?
Yeah.
They
Is
got
he,
to.
You
is
gotta
he
make it the
purple, or will he
man.
always be wearing purple suits? Or something? How
It would be a cop-out if that's actually what happened. You got a guy who is a sci-fi veteran coming in to play a villain to break out of his stereotype cast. He better be in purple makeup. Better be in purple makeup or I will rage, dude. Like, a tie, a suit, a shirt, and a pants are not enough for me to call you Purple Man. I mean,
good job.
But yeah, no, I can understand.
Did you
yeah.
feel that building?
Yeah, I can feel it building.
Okay,
But,
but
yeah.
either way, we'll keep you more in tune to Tech Boost rage on that as that gets closer. Everything else is looking pretty good.
Yeah, but nothing really new on the front except the Daredevil trailer.
Okay, so hang out over the break, and we will be talking about January sales, and we're also going to talk about Marvel's announcement. Came out a day after
Marvel had an announcement.
after the old 52,
Yeah, the old 52 stuff.
DC's old 52 stuff. So that's just as exciting. So we'll get back to that here in a second. Hang out.